Okay, hello, it's me, James, and I'm joined by Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello, how's it going?
It's a little bit too hot in this room and in this country and in this world generally, I think. But
Yeah.
we are here to talk about a couple of potential meta teams. I think mine's more of a tier 1.5, quite frankly. But you got something special for us, so you're gonna talk about yours first, and then I'll crack on with mine. Away you go, Joe. What have you got for us?
So I am known for a couple of things, but more recently I've been known for my love of Poison Ivy and Collector.
Hmm.
And with Infinity Gauntlet, they brought us some new toys, new control pieces like Rare Typhoid Mary,
Oh,
Shriek, if you will, and Rare Drax, which works like a blob only against characters. But the one thing that I like about my team is the Common Collector. All of its abilities, whether it's on a face or not, are just super useful. So I'm gonna go through it real quick because I love this card
okay.
and it's a key part of the combo. It's a 5 cost mask. It's a villain. It has Energize. It's something funny because I didn't use it whenever we were missing all those rolls in the
Oh
previous
yeah,
testing
yeah.
session. I could have used that to reroll stuff. Anyway, Energize, roll a die from your use pile, then place it in your reserve pool.
Hmm.
That's just on its Energize. That's just whenever you roll it up on a double energy phase.
That's pretty good.
Um, then it has a when fielded ability that says you may field a non sidekick character die from your use pile at level 1.
Hmm.
This is huge. The ability to field something from your use pile at level 1. And then it has the nice little caveat at the end of turn, KO it, as in the die that you brought out. And of course, it has that nice global, which we loved so much. I know you did, from the rare PXG
For
from back
sure.
in the day,
Yeah.
which is pay a mask once per turn, field a sidekick die from your use pile. So just everything about this card screams value to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, 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 for sure.
But what I love about it is it works so well with Poison Ivy, Criminal Because of Love. She's also a 5 cost. She's a Legion of Doom and villain character. She says, when fielded, you may KO a character die you control. If you do, deal damage equal to the KO'd character die's level to target opponent and all the character dice that opponent controls.
Yep.
That's really big. All right. So what I decided to do was instead of going the regular route with Kree Captain Global or just relying on other people to have that, I decided to bring in the Asuka package.
Hmm.
Asuka, as we know and love her, is so huge right here because she reduces mass character cost by 2, but she also has this nice little benefit that works well with the team, and that is whenever you field a mask superstar die or character die, each of your active Asuka superstar dice or character dice gets +1 attack and defense until end of turn.
Hmm.
Since I'm fielding the collector and I'm also fielding stuff from my use pile, that triggers Asuka. Makes
Yep.
her huge. I wipe the field and also deal damage with Poison Ivy's ability. And then I swing in with massive Asukas. So that's pretty much the overall theme of the team. I brought in some help, all right? Zatanna's a little pivot piece or a little swing piece. You can substitute her with whatever piece you need for whatever meta you're in.
Hmm.
So I brought the Satana that is called Being of Magic. It says while she's active, when you field a character die, spin it up 1 level. So since you can determine how your triggers, when fielded triggers, are going to resolve in the queue, if you have a Zatanna active while you use Collector to field a Poison Ivy from the use pile, instead of it coming in at a level 1, it gets spun up to a level 2. So that increases the damage that you're gonna do just based off of having Zatanna out there. She can increase your damage from 1 to 2 to 3, depending on what you decide to KO with.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
So other pieces I brought for the current meta, because this team is spoilers. I'm going to be using this team for this weekend's UKGE MOD PDM
Yep.
event, and I brought with me the 2 cost Godcatcher to stop other Godcatchers, as well as Static Field, because the main narrative is I'm going to be trying to loop as many Poison Ivies as I can via collector and KOing them at the end of turn.
Yep.
So that's the team in a nutshell. It's got a nice little control package, but it also has a really fast combo, which you've seen the true potential of
Yeah, yeah, that's
yourself.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and also one more thing to note: when you have an Oscar, and I just found this out recently, like last week, when you have an Oscar fielded and you filled another Oscar, both of them will get the trigger because the first Oscar is there to see it happen. So she applies all the buffs to the one that just got fielded.
I'm just looking for her text. It says while she's active. No. Whenever you field a mask superstar die, each of your active Asuka. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I'll believe you. Sounds good to me.
So yeah, it just gets she gets really huge really fast.
Okay. We probably should point out that you probably don't have the rare Drax, and that's why you're using the proxy card, because it's a 3-cost. Correct. And I also don't have it, and I'm using the one from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think is the right dice, right? Joe, thank you. That was great. Now, again, I'll have to find my cursor, and I'll switch to my map with Norman. I've got a slightly different view than usual. Anyone who likes to see all of the cards and all of the dice will be very pleased, except I didn't even bother bringing the dice for the global card. Since this is testing, okay, this is not any kind of official game. We're just checking things out. I wanted to have a little play with the super rare Thor from Infinity Gauntlet, which is clearly not this card. This is Thor, Every Problem is a Nail from Avengers Infinity campaign box, I think. But that denotes that little Reg's token there denotes that that's supposed to be the super rare. The text of which reads, whenever you field, while he's active, whenever you field a character die, you may deal 2 damage to target character die. I don't know if it has to be opposing or opponent. And it has the same global as Thor, Every Problem is a Nail, which is pay a bolt once per turn. The next action die you purchase this turn costs 2 less. So it costs 6, and it doesn't have the Avengers affiliation, unlike this one, which is a bit of a stretch these days. Well, it always has been. When I played Ultraman, it was I used to prep over with Rip Hunter's chalkboard a Kryptonite and then try and buy Ultraman on turn 2. And this is a bit similar, really. I did think about doing it with the Atlantis, which Spug was doing actually, and. The Atlantis, which when you roll it to an action phase, allows you to put as many of the psychics, or as many of the dice that you've rolled that turn, into the prep area and roll them again next turn. So you can basically end up with 8 sidekicks, and on the burst phase, it lets you draw another one. So you're rolling your whole bag on turn 3, which certainly, almost certainly gets you enough energy to buy Thor. But I didn't want to buy things that wouldn't. I mean, the Atlantis die is great, and it's great for coordinating action dice. So if you miss stuff, you can put it in your prep area and have another go at it next turn. So if you miss your characters, or if you need to get action dice happening at the same time, it's actually really good. But I wanted to just buy the dice that I was going to kill with, really. The intention being Lita, because she says, while she's active, at the end of your roll and reroll step, you can spin any of your psychic dice to their level 1 superstar face, which is just a character face. So they would end up in your reserve pool on the psychic face, and then you can fill them, which would trigger Thor, clearly. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be good to combo that with Yellow Lantern Ring, which is somewhat hidden by the pictures, but it basically says character dice in your reserve pool gain Intimidate. So if I roll my regular 4 psychics while Lita is active in the field, no matter what face I actually roll them to, I can switch them to psychics while they're in my reserve pool. Those psychics will gain Intimidate. So simultaneously, I will potentially intimidate away 4 of my opponent's characters, which is as many as people tend to have in the field these days, and do 2 damage for each fielded psychic via Thor. So that would be 8 damage. Leaving them with an empty field, and me with a Thor, whose bottom level is 5, a Lita, whose bottom level is 3, and 4 sidekicks, which comes to 12, which is how much life they would have left. So it seemed like a lovely combo, but the chances of me pulling it off are pretty minimal. It seems a bit like... Lita's a bit fragile, for starters, and the consistency is probably not there. I've been trying. Most of the rest of the cards are either Control, so this is the rare Drax proxying, or Ramp, or both. So Becky Lynch obviously is both. She lets me prep stuff. And Intellect Devourer and Atlas and Kree Captain allow, or hopefully let me buy the expensive stuff. And get it out at the right time. So all I really need is Lita has to be in the field and survive until I draw dice the next turn. And I need Thor there at the same time on the turn that I'm fielding those sidekicks. And if the opponent has something in the field, I would also need a Yellow Lantern Ring. So Lita, and then the next turn, Yellow Lantern Ring and Thor. That's the idea. Of course, it's not so easy. I also brought Static Field in case of God Catchers and stuff like that, which is a bit counterintuitive since part of my damage is hopefully going to be through combat damage. Although, to be fair, the actual combo doesn't come off that often. And if people stomp on my Lita, which is quite possible, I've got Instant War as a backup for sidekick fielding. I would quite like the Collector Global, but it seems that he might be quite prevalent in the meta, so maybe I can filch off other people's Collector Globals, which obviously allows me to field a sidekick, which would also trigger Thor. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I've seen many different versions of this brew. One of the ones that I was posting on Facebook was the rare Gamora with Yawning Portal and Thor. And basically, what you would do is you would get rare Gamora because she has Rush Bolt.
Yep.
And your whole team is pretty much Jubilee, Thor, and Yawning Portal.
Yep.
So what you would do is you'd get the Yawning Portal early, and then you would fill the sidekick through whatever means.
Mm-hmm.
And then reduce the cost of your Yawning Portal as well as your Gamora. You put them in the bag. You put them straight to the bag, and then from there you just start the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really explosive. But like you said, there's still something about. I think it's the fact that Thor is a 6 cost. That's what.
6 costs are a curse, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you miss it the first time you roll it.
My problem is that they don't have a Ring of Winter Global anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Kree Captain Global, but honestly, what is perfect about Thor is the fact that you need a Ring of Winter Global.
Yeah. Yeah, although I couldn't use that on Lita, so Kree Captains, if you can roll fists. I mean, the thing is, this kind of needs Clayface, which I think you brought, right? You brought
I did bring it.
And it's got a ridiculous number of globals already, but it needs more. It needs Clayface, and it probably needs 1 cost Poxwalker, and that might make it somewhat reliable.
I will say, as far as like consistency goes, having the Lita out there or even the Instant War is more reliable than the old-fashioned way, which is to do Fish Slap variant. Where you would have the Atlantis that lets you draw and roll 2 for each time you fielded a sidekick.
Yeah. No, I think Lita is great. If she stays in the field, and if she rolls in the first place, which of course that was a bit of an issue earlier. But should we give it a try, Joe? Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
You want to call action or energy? Sir?
I will. Oh, great! I haven't done that for ages. I will call action as ever.
All right. It is energy, and I think I'm actually going to go first.
Okay then. Right. Well, good luck to you. Well, those are the combos. Will they hold up against the Beckys and God Catchers of this world? Would they fit in with your playstyle? Would you make any changes? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want to see how they perform, watch out for part 2, in which Joe and I pit the teams against each other. A big thanks to Joe from the CRGameroom. Don't forget to check out their Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/CRGameroom. And many thanks to you for watching. If you like this video, please do consider liking and subscribing. Till next time, bye-bye.